welcome to our Q3 FY 19-20 Concall. This is Manish Gulati, and I just wanted to share with you that I've been appointed as Executive Director of the company with effect from 1st of March 2020. So, in the year 2019, total world crude steel production registered a growth of 3.4%, which came mainly on the back of a high 8.3% growth coming from China. But if you look at the steel production in the rest of the world without China, after 2 years of positive growth, it was minus 1.7% last year. Now, China, which produced 50% of the total world steel in 2016, has been continuously growing in production, and today they now produce 53% of all steel made in the world. The electric arc furnace steel production was down in some of the large steel producing regions like Europe, Japan, CIS, Turkey, mainly resulting from slowdown in demand, the trade tensions between US and China, and other geopolitical tensions in some parts of the world. Iran's steel production, which is mainly EAF-based, grew in 2019 by 30%, but due to sanctions, we could not participate in this growth. Due to reduced demand of electrodes and large inventory overhang, which was caused due to customers buying much higher volumes of electrodes in 2018 and in the first few months of 2019, on account of an unprecedented increase in electrode prices witnessed month after month, we have seen much less buying in the last couple of quarters. As you're all aware, graphite electrodes has a long production cycle, anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks to 20 to 24 weeks for different category of electrodes and nipples that we produce. Moreover, as our primary raw material, needle coke, is totally imported by us from Europe, US, and Japan, at any particular time, we have large inventory of needle coke in stock, on seaborne transit, in work in process, given the above stated production cycle, and finally in the form of finished electrodes. While the electrode prices have corrected in the past few quarters, we still keep consuming high-priced coke. Since the past year, the electrode prices have been sequentially dropping quarter after quarter to reflect the market conditions. As the customers have overbought in 2018 and first half of 2019, the new purchases have come down to more normal operating levels. This has led to a drop in our revenue and EBITDA margins, etc. However, one of the largest industry players from Japan has recently announced a shutdown of one of its plants, impacting a reduction of 40,000 tons of electrode capacity, and is further considering temporary idling of another 25 to 27,000 ton capacity in Europe. This should help in stabilizing the market. On our side, we are vigorously pursuing our expansion, which is going as per original schedule, and as planned, it should be operational by first quarter of 2022. Our plant with an installed capacity of 80,000 tons is currently the single largest plant in the world, and by addition of another 20,000 tons, it would become even larger, giving us significant advantage in cost. We are happy with the timing of our expansion, and we believe by then the world market for electrodes would have grown larger to absorb this 20,000 ton additional electrodes, easily adding to our international market share. The needle coke availability has substantially eased compared to the recent past due to reduced demand from GE producers and, more importantly, an overhang of inventory both with all the electrode producers as well as needle coke producers, as explained above. And accordingly, the prices of needle coke are significantly coming down. Our sales in Q3 were at low 50 utilization level, and we expect it to become better from this quarter onwards as the demand picks up gradually. We do believe that with this new capacity coming on stream, the quality of our products will see a marked improvement due to state-of-art equipment and the latest available technology that we are currently in process of installing. This would have a positive impact on the quality of our products. In addition, this will also enable us to do cost savings due to economies of scale and also achieve better efficiencies. With our 4 decades of experience in business, we expect to be a supplier of choice to all our global and Indian customers. With this, I would now hand over the floor to our CFO, Gulshan, to take you through the financial numbers, and then, along with our group CFO, Mr. Ajmera, we will be very happy to answer any queries that you may have. Over to you, Mr. Gulshan.
Yeah, thank you. For the quarter ended December 2019, HEG recorded revenue from operations of rupees 394 crore as against 564 crore in the previous quarter and 1865 crores in the corresponding quarter of the last financial year. EBITDA including other income stood at rupees 32 crore in quarter 3 versus 174 crores of previous year quarter and 1351 crores in the corresponding quarter of the last financial year. The company reported a net profit of rupees 6 crore in quarter 3 as against profit of rupees 179 crore in the previous quarter and 867 crore in the corresponding quarter of last financial year. The company is debt-free and have been handling a treasury operations to the tune of nearly 1,200 crore as on 31st December 2019, and the average return has been around 8% per annum on the same. The company is having a history of maintaining a payout ratio of around 30 to 35%, and we do expect to maintain the same in the current financial year. In line with that, the board has already approved the payment of interim dividend of rupees 250%, that is 25 per equity share. For the quarter ended December 2013, the company has presented consolidated financial results along with the standalone results as a part of the compliance with the SEBI circular. The company aims to further strengthen its balance sheet through effective working capital management, thereby creating value for its stakeholders. And now we would now like to address any questions or queries you may have in your mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Sonali Salgaonkar from Jefferies. Please go ahead. Ms. Salgaonkar, your line is in talk mode. Kindly go ahead with your question.
Yes. So thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is, I just wanted to understand what has changed substantially in Q3 versus Q2, which is why we are seeing the results sharply down sequentially as well. And, where do you really see the realizations bottoming out?
Right. Okay. So if you are asking what has happened between the two quarters, there has been less sales. As we said, the Q3 was in low 50s and Q2 was in 60s. So that is one reason, and the next reason is a drop in prices, or rather adjustment of prices, coupled with that we have the needle coke and our WIPs and finished goods which were made from the highest price of coke it could get. So when the electrode prices are falling and we are holding inventory which is at the earlier raw material prices, so that is what has hit us for Q3.
Got it. And where do you see this as probably the bottom of realizations, or do you still think that there's still some more pain left?
No, I think this should be the bottom. I think so. I hope so, because there is not much room left to go below these levels which we are having. And once we have this high cost inventory out of our system, the margins should return.
So by when do you foresee the high cost needle coke inventory to be out of your system?
Let's say safely take 6 months.
That's 2 quarters from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my second question is, probably you could choose to answer this from an industry level. What is the current level of inventory of graphite electrodes that you see the industry sitting on, and probably what timeline do you expect to liquidate this?
Again, see, people globally, including us, we have adjusted our production levels to reflect the new market demand and give time to customers to adjust their inventories which they have. But I believe that once people are working on lesser capacity utilizations, not only us but everybody else, this should now again take 6 months to either liquidate excess inventories at our hand or excess inventories which customers are holding. So probably we have to give everybody 6-month time frame, because of course people have realized that yes, there is not enough demand in the market, so all the companies have adjusted their capacities to whatever level they could. And again, for the same reason that we have to adjust to the new level and exhaust excess inventories.
Sure. So my next question is from the perspective of needle coke. So I just wanted to understand probably what is the current cost of needle coke and typically what is the duration of the contracts and when is the next renewal up?
See, right now we have excess inventories and we'll probably know about the new levels sometime in March. Right now we are not buying any needle coke, but we of course have a sense that prices are coming down. So probably in the month of March, when we will talk about April beyond, we'll have a sense of where the pricing is. So far the pricing has been 6 monthly at a time, but in this new conditions we will see. It all depends on the market. I mean, in good old days, we used to get into a year-long contract with customers because we used to have year-long back-to-back contracts with needle coke. And then when the market went hot, it became 6 monthly, then it became 3 monthly. Now we will see in March. I mean, we will see both ways, whether we are willing to get into a 6-month contract. If we don't have enough visibility, likewise, they can also take a call.
Sure. And would it be able for you to share what is the current cost of needle coke?
I would like to say it, ma'am, for competitive reasons. But yes, you can. I mean, there's enough data in the market you can figure out, but I would not like to put a figure to that, ma'am.
Understand, sir. So my next question is related to coronavirus and the probable supply chain disruption in China. Do you see the imports of Chinese graphite electrodes getting affected because of this? Or have you seen or come across any data that they have come down from the start of January to the mid of Feb?
I think to be able to properly answer this question, another few days may be required. Because you see, before the Chinese went for the holiday, everything was planned and everything was done, organized accordingly. Now it's about a week or 10 days that they're back, and I don't know whether they're back, but maybe another few days. Like you, everybody is watching the situation very closely. But I can only share, which is common sense, that if it lasts for a little longer, not only electrodes, several other industries would be impacted. So we should see some decline in exports, not only in India, because China was exporting a lot of the lower grade, high power electrodes to several countries in the world. So another few days and it will become clearer actually. Today I cannot hazard a guess.
Got it, sir. Sir, could you provide us your current breakup of UHP versus non-UHP and exports versus domestic?
Export versus domestic is about 70-30 portion, and UHP versus non-UHP keeps varying a little bit, but if you take an average, it is about 20 to 25%.
Sorry, what is 22%?
20 to 25% is of the portion of our non-UHP production.
Non-UHP, understand, yeah. Sir. So, and how are the exports doing in any particular geographies where you are finding constraints or probably a lot of competition because China is exporting in them?
No, but the competition which we have with China is only for that 20-25% of our non-UHP grade which we make. We do not have straight competition with the ultra high power grade, which is our mainstay. So, I mean, this has always been, not only now, it has been for the last so many years, we have been competing with this 20-25% of our business segment. So it's not restricted to any geography. I mean, they were exporting this lower grade to so many countries, so we compete with them everywhere.
Sure. And any particular geographies which are doing well or not so well export-wise?
So if you see, I mean, Europe has a lot of slowdown in steel. If you look at the world steel production figures, I can share with you, let's say, if the steel is electric arc furnace, I mean, down in Japan, Turkey, South Korea, Russia, Italy, Mexico, Germany, most of these major steel-making countries are down in production. The only place where they seem to be growing is Iran, which is out of our purview, and United States is growing and growing in steel, and India is growing in steel. So other than that, the European part is significantly down in production.
Got it, sir. So, and are the realizations of export and domestic comparable?
Domestic realizations have become much less. The pricing in India has become much too aggressive because it's a home market and everybody tries to sell. So, but in export is better, I would say, better than the domestic.
Would it be able for you to quantify the differential?
No, not exactly. Please don't ask for that.
Sure.
But it's certainly better, I would say.
Sure. So, my last question, in the opening remarks, you mentioned that there's a 40,000 metric ton shutdown of graphite electrode capacity in Japan. Which player are you referring to?
Which? Sorry, which?
Player. Which company are you referring to?
I said in my speech that it is the largest. It will not be nice on my part to name out competitors, but it is very easy for you to find out the largest. I've clearly said in my speech the largest industry player from Japan.
Sure. And when have they shut down?
This news which we have is about a week old, a week or 10-day old.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on. I think when they announced it on 5th of Feb.
Sure. So thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Bhavesh Chauhan from IDBI Capital. Please go ahead.
So just want to know, can you quantify the volume decline that has happened year over year in this quarter?
We gave the capacity utilization. Like I said, low 50s for this quarter, 60s for Q2, in 70s for Q1. So that's the decline.
Okay. And sir, in the previous question, you said that the margins are probably at bottom, or did you mean that pricing of the end products, graphite electrodes, are at bottom, or did you mean the margin?
See, the pricing, the earlier participant asked about the pricing, and I said that this is about the lowest it can get. And then I added that once the new price of raw material kicks in, our margins will improve.
Yeah,
right now we are still working with that very high cost of needle coke bought in 2019, and it is just the nature of our industry, which has such a long production cycle of anywhere around 2 to 5 months, and we have cokes in stock. And it all comes from US, Europe, and Japan. We always have 2 months worth on seaborne transit, which I mentioned in my speech. So it always hits us that way, that when the electrode prices drop, and if you have this kind of an inventory already locked in, paid for, so that is what caused the hit in margins.
Yeah. And so what would be the price differential between UHP and non-UHP today?
Well, it's big actually. It's big. There was a time when electrodes were short, so both have the pricing distance had closed because people wanted electrodes, no matter which grade. But now the pricing is significantly different between the two.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Sonali Salgaonkar from Jefferies. Please go ahead.
So just one clarification. So the needle coke that you were using in Q2, that's the earlier quarter, and
yes,
the price that you have in Q3, are they comparable, or have you seen a sequential rise in needle coke price as well?
No, they are comparable because this all is bought. These are 2019 contracts. So price of consumed in Q2 and Q3 are almost the same. Because, of course, where will the new coke come from? This is the price of coke we have been buying since the start of the year. So whatever the price of coke was there with us in Q2 is the same in Q3. almost the same, going to be the same in Q4 as well.
Got it, sir. That was all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. The next question is from the line of Ujjwal Agarwal from New Horizon. Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaste, sir. This is Ujjwal. And the question I have is the EBITDA and EBIT margins that we were saying for the last 2 years were completely unsustainable. That I understand. But what would be the stable level of EBITDA and EBIT margins that we might be able to see that will be sustainable for the long term?
Gulshan, would you like to answer this?
Ujjwal, you have to see this EBITDA margin is a factor of two things. One, that my coke consumption and my selling price. And
right.
How means in the next financial year they would be going to turn around. That is going to means give that effective EBITDA margin. Currently it's difficult to comment in a next financial year or means in the future means how this EBITDA margin would remain. But if you see the past history, and when that prices were normal and at that time we were having a EBITDA margin in the range of 20 to 25%. But right now commenting for the future is quite difficult because it is a factor of two things. One, that selling price, and the second one is coke.
Okay. And I have one more question, and it is about the needle coke price. The needle coke price, do you see any extra capacity that might be added to the needle coke, so that the prices might come down? Because as you said before that it is also used for lithium-ion batteries also. So is there any planned capacity additions all over the world or somewhere that would help us get needle coke for cheaper?
No, you see, the needle coke prices have already got heated a lot. In fact, they are already in the process of correction. And needle coke suppliers are not even able to use current capacity. So there's no need for new capacity when they are still grappling with their existing capacity. So the prices are already on the way down. We'll get a better feel of the needle coke prices sometime in March, because right now we do not need any needle coke. So we'll come to know of where the prices settle sometime in March when we talk for coke beyond April.
Okay. That would be all from my side, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one at this time. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Santosh Sahu from MC Research. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. This is Anubhav Sahu. Had a couple of questions. One, given that we have a high cost inventory for needle coke, and it probably will take around 2 quarters to consume. So, do you think that current margin range of around high single digit to low double digit EBITDA margin will sustain for the next 2 quarters?
No, next 2 quarters should be similar, because with the electrode prices stabilizing, and it's just that how fast we can just consume our high-cost inventory. So I think for next 2 quarters, situation should be more or less the same. We do not expect anything inordinate. Whatever is there. Because we know where we are. We know where electrode prices are today, although they have stabilized, but we know where they are today. We know where we have this. We have to live with this high-cost needle coke inventory and finished good inventory we have. So then nothing much is expected to change for 2 quarters. However, then later we definitely are expecting things to get better, because then the new needle coke prices are coming down to adjust to the market conditions.
So, is there a way to check, or do you have an estimate that if we didn't have the high cost inventory, and if our input cost for needle coke in this quarter was, say, at the current prices of needle coke which is prevailing in the market, so then what would have been our EBITDA margin or operating margin?
Yeah, it's a good wish. I keep wishing this all the time. I hope we did not have this inventory, because today the electrode prices are off today, and the price of coke is of yesterday, so which is causing a mismatch. But I mean, I wouldn't answer. I wouldn't be able to answer this question of what EBITDA could have been if we had needle coke prices of.
Yeah. No. What I mean is that the other question would have been like close to quarters. What would be the normalized margin you would be looking at? But since there are multiple factors which would be running, say, after 2 quarters, we don't know. But
for that,
at present,
for that, you don't even have to ask me. If you look at the electrode industry margins over the last 10 years, that's where it should be. 10, 15 years. Just have a look at, I mean, if you have access, if you have, not only for us, for others, if you have, look at the industry's margins for the last 10, 15, 20 years, it's a very good indication, because that is what is sustainable. That is what lets the industry grow at a healthy pace and serve our customers. So that, I think that is where it should be.
Got it. And so last question on the industry per se. I mean, any idea what is the utilization level for the graphite industry right now? I mean, is it close to what we are putting up, or it's something different?
Some of the players are close to where we are, and one player is probably having a better capacity utilization, which is because they had tied some long-term contracts. Of course, they didn't benefit for the first 2 years. Because they have some sales which is already locked up under those legal kind of contracts. So, barring those, I believe many of us are in a very similar range today.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Payal from Ratnamani Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. So my question is on yes, sir. So my question is related to the inventory. So what is the inventory hit we have taken for the quarter? Is the inventory hit being done, I mean to say, or we can see it going ahead to hit in some quarter?
I'd rather have Gulshan answer this question. Gulshan?
Please come again.
Yeah. So I just want to know, So what is the inventory loss that we have booked in this quarter?
Ma'am, if you see, ma'am, there is no inventory loss. Only the reduction of this margin is on account of that reduction in the selling prices and that high cost inventory and the high cost consumption that we have booked in this quarter. So there is no inventory loss on account of this. But that's why that my EBITDA margin and my EBIT margin has come down on account of that reduction in my selling price and high cost consumption.
Consumption that we have.
Yeah.
So on the remaining needle coke that we have as a raw material or WIP, so we have not taken any hit on that. I mean,
and we don't foresee also, and we don't foresee also, because keeping into consideration that selling price that is currently prevailing into the market, basis on that, and we don't foresee any that inventory is going to come in the books of accounts.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 at this time. Members of the management. So would you like to wait for some time? We do not have any questions in the queue as of now.
So you can proceed. You can proceed for that.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Gulati, any closing comments?
Yeah. Thank you, friends, and we are optimistic about the medium to long-term growth of our industry, considering this as a temporary blip. And we look forward to speaking to you in the next quarters, hopefully with more clear picture and a better set of numbers. All the best. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen.